What's up guys, Evasion here and welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, we have some Dark Shadows 2v2 with Mage Rogue and we're around 2200 MMR. I got 3 games real quick for you guys today and I've been kind of slacking because I've been leveling some ults and stuff, but we're going to get back on the train here and get some more content out for you guys, as well as the next 3 or so videos after this. I'm going to make a sub-rogue guide with my current thoughts on how I play it right now, assassin rogue guide, and then probably an updated opener guide for Subtlety, as I haven't made an opener guide since we got the first dance trait, and you do things slightly differently now. These are going to be the talents I'm running. This is the Dark Shadows build that I was using, and we are going to talk about this in the guide coming up. Normally I was playing the Night Stalker Enveloping Shadows, and all I will say is that both builds are still very good. It's just kind of personal preference, and I've been practicing out both builds to see what I think, because I've really only been playing the 3 dance build with Enveloping. But anyway guys, let's hop straight into these games. Alright, so hopping into this first game here, we have a game against Unholy, DK, and Priest. It is definitely hard. If things don't go like really perfectly, and they actually play like really well and space out their defensives, I think it's like nearly impossible to win. But a lot of time you'll get an overlap on something, and you're able to usually get the win. It's usually pretty close looking still, but anyway, we're gonna go in here. Our general strategy this game: the Priest has Relentless. So what that allows us to do is that means that our blind is going to be a guaranteed go, you know, unless he pulls some clutch stuff and uses Premonition to break out of it. We're generally gonna get a sap onto the DK. I'm gonna be prepared to cheap shot his pet if he tries to gnaw my mage on the greater. If the priest were to rush in, I would kidney early too, but I usually try to wait a couple seconds and then kidney the priest so that we can get a nice polymorph off of it. So we're gonna go in here, try and get the DK sapped in LOS of the mage. I get found out by the Holy Nova, which kind of sucks. So I go for the kidney right away, and instantly I kind of screw up here, and I'm not able to get the cheap shot onto the pet. So my mage goes for the poly right away off kidney instead, and then he's going to start casting his greater afterwards. I go for the stuns right away on the DK, and when I pop my dance, we get Icebound Fortitude almost instantly, which is kind of an awkward situation. It's a good trade, but he probably didn't have to do anything based on what happened there. He just wants to instantly try and go ham on us. We get Pain Suppression and AMS, so there's the overlap I was talking about, guys. If you get something like that, it's going to, like, that pretty much shaves 25 seconds off how long we need to win this and how long we have to stay alive, because we don't need that extra go now. We get AMZ right here too, but the priest is mid CC chain. We used our blind there so that we could get that guaranteed setup. There's no poly DR off that, but I noticed my mage is casting the sheep here and he gets mind froze, so very quickly I just kind of, the way I identified this when I was playing is I was looking at my focus frame, and I know that usually my mage would have this guy polyed already. Because if there's a gap against a priest, the priest has room that he could potentially use Premonition and break out of the CC. So I decided to go for kidney off this. The reason I didn't want to risk going for the sap was because it kind of worked out my rotation. I had the full points here. I knew that since Mind Freeze is on cooldown, we would be able to get the sheep afterwards anyway, so I don't need to use that sap right there. But in general, you should try to sap your blind. It just worked out super well for this situation. Also, because he's Relent, if there was any form of combat delay when he was applied into that kidney shot or the blind, I wouldn't be able to sap anyway. The one other thing that didn't go great for us there that could have been really bad was the mage got hit by Dark Sim during his polymorph cast, so it gives the DK one use of polymorph. You can see that icon also on my screen during that game, right beside my focus frame. And basically, he did sheep my mage when we were going for the kill, so it forced my mage to ice block. It was a really good call on my mage to ice block that off. Sometimes it's hard to fake out Dark Sim against DKs. You don't really have the freedom as Mage Rogue to sit there and just fake a million times, so that's probably why that happened. But had they survived right here somehow, it would have just started rotting down really fast. But nonetheless, it worked out really well, and we're going to hop into the next clip. Alright, hopping into the second game here, we have a game against Discipline Priest and Warrior. This game, we decide we're going to try and kill the Priest. So what we're going to try and do is we ideally want to sap the Priest so that the Mage can start using Greater. And then I'm going to kidney shot the Warrior. The Warrior Bladestorm, so I kind of run it off to the side here. He gets a Stormbolt onto the Mage, but the Mage actually gets off a Greater. Because my Mage is at like 30% haste now, so he's definitely getting those off a little bit quicker. We get the Warbanner down. Mage tries to whack it with Fire Blast. Doesn't quite work out for us. I don't even think the priest was really affected by that. We still got the bulk of our opener off. And I go for the duel on the warrior just to stall out, allowing my mage to get things like Frost Nova back. We still have Sheep DR though, so we can get a full sheep off that. But positioning is kind of out of whack. Stun DRs are pretty much falling off here. And my mage goes for a DB sheep onto the warrior right when I get my dance cheap shot onto the priest. Priest pops Trinket and Rapture right there. And we're able to ride him down entirely because he wasn't able to dispel the warrior out of that poly. And I'm going to back up for a second just to show why. I was playing Maledict in this clip, and we kind of created a trap for this guy in this situation because when my mage gets the polymorph out, I throw out this cheap shot, I throw out my Maledict, and the priest wastes a global where he has to start healing himself. He probably was planning to just Rapture like the shields over top of the Maledict potentially, or because Maledict is up, basically if he dispels Maledict, he can't get his warrior out. We get another sheep off of this. That's more than enough time to drop this priest the rest of the 60k that he has left. And on top of that, if he dispels the warrior, the Maledict isn't coming off, and I'm pretty sure my mage still has Maledict as well, which might have just hit there on the very last frame of that game. But anyway, kind of growing to like Maledict again since the patch. A lot of people stopped using it, but I think it's actually still pretty good. It's just getting used to abusing it in situations like that. But anyway, guys, let's hop into the next clip. Alright, hopping into one last game here. We have a game against Discipline Priest and DK. I believe it's the same team as the first game. However, you'll notice the Priest has swapped off of Relent to Trinket, probably to deal with us. Relent didn't really work out for him in the first game, so he's probably trying something different. We're going to go in here and try and sap up the DK. I think I get found again, but not a big deal because if he fears me, my mage gets the free cast anyway. I cheap shot the pet this time. Mage was in a slightly off position, so we couldn't really start the greater right away, and he goes for that sheep instantly, which is totally fine. And then we get the damage out here on the DK. We get a lot of damage. I go for the blind on the priest right here, and I duel the trinket. I'm going to run to the pillar right now so I can potentially re-stealth if they leave me alone. I'm kind of just waiting for stun DR to fall off the priest so I can go for a kidney. It was a little rushed on my part, but we had a lot of pressure on the DK, so I didn't want to lose it. But my mage is able to use a half Dragon's Breath here and stall for poly DR. And he's able to somehow fake through everything standing on top of the team and get the polymorph, which was really nice here. I go for a smoke bomb, which I should have placed over both of the team members just to potentially stop any extra interrupts the DK had for the mage. And we get the kill. It was pretty clean. The thing that made that game so easy for us was the fact that we got the duel on the trinket, and the priest wasn't able to get the DK's health up at all. But I feel like, honestly, Mage Rogue has a pretty decent matchup against DK Priest. I feel like they can still play a little bit better, but it's definitely not as hard as playing against some other DK healer teams. We'll definitely try to get some more clips versus other healers. Just wanted to share with you guys some of the games I had playing Dark Shadows last night because it was a lot of fun. Kind of tested it out on a whim because I actually missed that spec. I like it better because having spam dances is kind of like, even though the builds are pretty much the same thing, and on paper the 3-dance build is a lot better, it feels a lot nicer to have more impactful dances because I feel like I play better with them. You're making sure you use your dance at the right time. You're not just dancing because you have so many of them. And I don't know, I like it overall. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're playing sub, what do you think between the two builds? What builds are you playing? And also, be sure to stay tuned for those upcoming guides. We're going to try and have those out this week. Definitely going to stop slacking to get some more content up. But till next time, guys, like, comment, subscribe for more, and we'll see you guys all again soon.